It's a great honor. Especially want to thank the baseball club. Tanya, Scott, Mike, I know he's retiring after this, I think Tanya is too, but great job with the baseball club. One thing I've learned about from speaking is that for the first 5 minutes of a speech, everybody knows what's going on. Everyone's connected, right? The second 5 minutes, only I know what I'm talking about. And after that, no one knows what they're talking about, all right? Not even myself. So I'm going to keep this short, but I think it's important to talk about this topic of building successful teams. Not just building them, but leading them. Some of you guys know my story, but for those of you who don't, I'll tell you real quick. The only reason I'm standing here right now in this uniform is because of baseball. Yes, baseball. I was a sophomore at Frostburg State University. The money had run out. Right? I was playing ball. The team looked pretty good that year. So this ROTC thing came up. It's a free scholarship. So I applied and I got a scholarship so I could stay in school and play college baseball. Only reason. So over my career, we've moved 9 times. Our kids have gone to 7 different schools in 5 different states. Some of those moves happened with less than 3 months' notice. We had to move out. So I was sitting in this tiny cubicle in the Pentagon. Lieutenant colonels in the Pentagon don't get a big office. They get a tiny little cube. And we're not even allowed to make coffee in the Pentagon. That's like for the generals, right? I was able to buy the coffee, but I couldn't make it. I mean, that's how important I was at the Pentagon. Sorry, I've digressed a little bit. You know, I have a little PTSD about my time at the Pentagon. Not for my 2 combat deployments, but my time there at the Pentagon. But I was sitting there in my cubicle, and we found out I got selected for this position at Ohio State. We had almost a year to plan to move to Columbus, most time we've ever had. And I made the decision at that time to retire. This would be my last assignment. So I started looking at schools in the Columbus area. Number 1, the school had to have a great academic reputation. It had to be an 8 or better in grade school rating. Always should be the most important thing. But then I looked at their athletic program. I looked at their basketball team, their football team, their baseball team, the last 10 years, how well they've done. I did trend analysis, who's on the rise, who's going down. And looking back, I apologize to you because that was a terrible waste of your taxpayer money. But it came down to 3 schools. 3 schools. Olentangy Liberty, Dublin Kaufman, yeah, boo, right? And Hilliard Davidson. Those 3 schools. Yeah. And we looked at houses. I did not even see our house before we moved here. I sent my wife up here one weekend. I said, look at schools or houses in these 3 districts. And the moment we set foot in Hilliard, we felt this sense of community. We felt this sense of school pride. The residents welcomed us in. We finally, after 20 years, had a place we call home. And for the Bunyaks, this H not only stands for Hilliard, but it stands for home. Cool? That's an Army term. Cool. All right? So let me ask the players over here, up front here. How do you become successful on the baseball team? How do you become successful on the field? Most of you would say, I want to work harder than the guy next to me. I want to be better than that guy next to me. I'm going to put in more hours in the cage. I'm going to do all that. Determination, grit, all these things are what's going to make you successful. I'm here to tell you that's not the key to being successful. Not at all. I'm not saying don't work hard. You should work hard. But if you are working hard, and how hard you work, it's irrelevant if you're doing it for yourself and not your team. So let me say that again. Doesn't matter how hard you work, if you're not doing it for your team, it's irrelevant. So I'm going to tell you about the best team that I've ever been on. So I deployed to Eastern Afghanistan in 2012 with the 4th Infantry Brigade, 4th Infantry Division, the Mountain Warriors. And it was fitting because we were assigned on the border of Pakistan, right up there in the mountains. Our unit had 3 Medal of Honor recipients, the most in one unit since Vietnam. I had the honor to serve with Captain Groberg, And I actually got to go to Sergeant Carter's ceremony at the White House. Our commander, Colonel Mingus, a now 2-star general, and our command sergeant major is one of the highest ranking non-commissioned officers in the Army. Our brigade headquarters was in Jalalabad, there in the east. It's the same base where we launched the raid into Pakistan to kill Osama bin Laden. We had, applause, yes, please, applause. But we also had 6 battalions all through eastern Afghanistan. We did some amazing things, but we took some terrible losses. We lost our brigade command sergeant major, one of the highest ranking soldiers in our unit, and 2 key officers to a suicide bomber in Assadabad. We were rocked. We got through it though. We got through it as a team. And I only tell you that because a successful team isn't all about winning. It's about how you bounce back after a loss. So after that deployment, I kept seeing these officers I served with get promoted over and over again. To put things in context, the selection rate for battalion command is about 15% across the Army. But of the 22 officers available for promotion in this unit, 18 of us were selected to battalion command. That's an 82% selection rate. None of us were successful because of what we did for ourselves, but what rather we did for the team. We had a common vision and purpose. We trusted each other. There were no egos in that unit, and that's saying a lot about a bunch of majors, right? We all had egos. But we shared successes and failures, and we became a better team because of it. So it brings to my really simple theory on success. TS equals IS. You all didn't know you're getting a math lesson tonight, did you? All right, here's your math lesson. Your teachers will be proud. TS equals IS. Individual success is directly proportional to team success. If you want to be successful as an individual, make your team successful. So throughout history, no one got to the top alone. They had a good team around them. When LeBron James was having his best years, highest point average, he was having individual success, his team struggled. And Michael Jordan was still the best player in the NBA, right? Best player ever. But in 2016, LeBron had his lowest point average in his career. What happened? Cavs won the championship, and now LeBron is the greatest player ever.
Yeah.
No? All right. So team success equals individual success. TS equals IS. And when I developed this simple theory with my cadets at Ohio State, I purposely put the TS first because team should always come first. But what are the qualities of a good team? It can be boiled down to 3 things: identity, cohesion, and climate. You put this H on and people know who you are. Have you ever looked at Bradley or Darby? What do they have on their hats? A D, right? A D, maybe. That's because you own this H. This is your identity. And it stands for something much bigger than you. It stands for all the past Wildcats and all the future players. Think about the climate in your dugout. How close are you as a team? Are you talking about other players behind their backs? Are you sticking up for them? Do you blame the teammate for a loss? Or do you take responsibility? And when you set goals, are you set personal goals or goals to help the team? For example, you can say hitting 5 home runs and 9,400 is a great goal, right? You can hit 5 home runs and have less RBIs than if you hit 5 singles with runners in scoring position. Maybe your goal should be to hit 350 with runners in scoring position. How can you help the team? And I know Coach Wally sent out the sheets where players write down all their goals and their vision. I hope you guys took that seriously because all great teams have a shared vision and shared goals. Great teams also have grit. So if you haven't picked up this book by Angela Duckworth, I highly recommend it. She did a study of cadets at West Point. She wanted to find out why some first-year students were successful and some dropped out. In order to get an appointment to West Point or any military academy, you have to have a stellar GPA, great ACT score, be in the top of your class, be athletic, have multiple varsity letters. So everybody that goes to West Point should be successful. What she found out is that a lot of cadets failed out. She found out the only predictor of success at West Point was what she called grit. And grit is passion and perseverance. Passion and perseverance. You have to want it, and you have to be able to overcome hardship. She went on to prove her theory in multiple facets of life. She did a treadmill test. She put young adults from all walks of life on a treadmill, people of different physical abilities. Some were athletic, some weren't. But she established a different baseline for every person on that treadmill. She then made them run and run until they passed that baseline. And then she recorded how long it took until they quit. But she didn't stop there. She then followed those people in the study and found out later in life that people who didn't quit were more successful in life. As she was finishing up her book, she asked a colleague if she was missing anything. Is there anything else that successful people have in common? And her friend said, yes, successful people are all on great teams. If it was an athlete, they were on a great sports team. If they were in the business world, they had a great team of co-workers. Like I said, no one at the top gets there alone. And chances are not only were they on a great team, but they had a great leader like I had in Colonel Nichols. A leader is someone who inspires people, not orders them around. You would think, wear this uniform, we order people around all the time. We don't. Leadership is about people. You manage things, and you lead people. I asked every high school student who is applying for an LTC scholarship, what is a good leader? Very few students can give you a good answer on that. So it makes me wonder, was I a good leader? So I'll give you one personal war story before I wrap this up, because it made me think about that. Why did people follow me? And it highlights the importance of inspiring and influencing people versus ordering them around. So in my first deployment to Iraq, I was embedded with the Iraqi military. I had an 11-man team. We lived with our Iraqis. We had 300 Jundis or soldiers we lived with. We ate with them, slept in their headquarters, and we fought on every mission with them. If they got in trouble, we bailed them out. We had access to attack helicopters, artillery, medical evacuation. The only thing they did that we didn't do was use their hand to wipe the blood after they took the dump. I'm serious. We used toilet paper. They used their hands. Anyways, yeah, I'm not making that up. Anyways, we were moving from Baghdad north to Samarra. So we're moving north from Baghdad up to Samarra, about a 60-mile drive, not very far. But if you think it's scary driving in Baghdad, it's nothing compared to letting Billy drive here earlier today, man. I was like, take me back to Baghdad, please. So during that movement north, we encountered a lot of bad guys. We hit IEDs. We were shot at. The enemy was firing mortar rounds at us. Somewhere along the way, in the fog of war, my 3 vehicles got separated from our Iraqi battalion. But we pushed on. After 14 hours, it goes 16 miles or 60 miles, 14 hours, we made our way north to Samarra, but our Iraqi counterparts weren't there. My team made it to the U.S. base. We threw off our body armor, literally collapsed from exhaustion. It was a long day. And luckily, all 11 guys got there safe. All we wanted to do was get some chow, get some rest. That's when we got the call from our higher headquarters. Our Iraqi battalion was pinned down somewhere, and we needed to go back and get them. Back down the same road that we just came up. No way. We had no idea where they were at, what the situation was. We didn't have communication with them, but we were expected to go back down and get them. So how do you convince your team to follow you in that situation? I didn't give an order to get back in the vehicles. The only reason I can think my guys got back in those vehicles was because we were a team. If one of us went, we were all going to go. No one was going to let the other guy down. It wasn't because I was this great leader, this General Patton, but rather because I had built a great team. Thankfully, we made it back to our Iraqis, and no one was hurt. Once you build that team, I challenge you to lead that team. And this is what it takes to be a good leader. At Ohio State, we focus on 6 attributes and competencies: who you are and what you do. Leaders are resilient. How do you handle a tough loss going over 4? You have to be able to bounce back. Intelligence is much more than a GPA or ACT score. It's about making sound judgments on the field, off the field, being an expert in your field, and being able to deal with different people and personalities. The things on the left are who you are inside. Things on the right are what you do. Leaders build trust. Our Iraqi commander, General Rahat, he didn't speak English. For 10 months, we used an interpreter. We named him George. George was Kurdish, didn't speak Arabic, didn't speak English very well either. In fact, wasn't a lot of value added. You know, we call him our mascot because he just made us laugh, like mascots do. But right before one of our big missions, George was translating General Rod's comments to us. It was a pretty big mission. So General Rod, in perfect English, says, "George, that's not what I said." General Rod spoke English all along. So what do you think that did for our trust between us and our Iraqi counterparts? A leader communicates. Almost all of our failures could be traced back to a failure to communicate. Are you guys talking on the field? I would challenge you to over-communicate. Make sure everyone on the field and off the field knows what's going on. And lastly, leaders get results. Wins and losses. Whether you agree or not, life is a competition. But what you need to recognize is who you're competing against and who you're competing with. The quicker you realize your team is the key to your success, the quicker you will see success. TS equals IS. Individual success, directly proportional to team success. Leaders, I truly believe that leaders are made on the field. They're made on the field. That's where you develop discipline, teamwork, resiliency, confidence, and winning attitude. So no matter what your goals are in life, I ask you to stay in the game. Thank you.